Yo, what's good, y'all? This super producer JS, aka The Best, and you now tune into Behind the Beats. Let's go. How I got into production, basically just growing up. I mean, I was always into music from like age 4, just riding down the car with my parents. And then basically I was always interested in percussion, because once I watched the movie Drumline, I mean, I always just wanted to play the drums. And eventually my 5th grade year in school, I learned how to play the drums. And I actually started late. And the teacher, he gave me a book to go through, like that the rest of the class was going through. And during that first weekend, I went through the whole book. And nobody believed that I went through the whole book. But, I mean, it was just crazy. So, I mean, I went through different competitions and got the highest scores. So, I mean, once I kept with that, I mean, it was just history. And then eventually, I started rapping and freestyling. And then I started making a couple albums, but it wasn't nothing serious because, I mean, I was still in school, so that wasn't my main focus. And then eventually, I mean, I didn't want to rap over other people's beats, so I just started making my own. And I didn't really have the money, so at the time, all I had was a video game. It was called MTV Generator 2. And I made most of my beats on that, but I mean, it was like the stuff that I was making on that, it was crazy. And I had to record it through my iPod recorder. But that was just crazy. And then eventually I started saving my money up, and I got a program called Cakewalk Music Creator 3. And that's what I started using with the laptop. And then eventually, again, I had to sell the beats that I was making, reinvest, and use that money to buy Sonar, which I'm using right now. And then basically that's what I just kept doing. I kept reinvesting into getting my equipment even better. Like even the keyboard that you see right here, the M Audio Keystation Pro 88, this right here, I had to save for like 3 years to get this. Like everything that you see in here is not, I didn't have the money just to go get it, you know. So I had to save. Like I started out with the old Casio keyboard that you get from Radio Shack, and I built, saved, and then eventually I even got the pad control that you see right here, and I had to work for that. That was crazy. And like all the programs and VSTs like Hypersonic, Battery 3, it's so many really, Nexus, Trilogy, Contact. I just started using Reason. I haven't really tapped into it that much, but yeah, like everything that you see, it all came with time. It just didn't happen overnight.
Who are your top 5 producers?
Top 5, I would probably say Quincy Jones, Timbaland, Dark Child, Eric B, and last one, I gotta say probably Pete Rock. Cause my style, that's one thing about me. I'm a versatile producer. I don't stick with just one type of sound, and I don't even stick with one type of genre. Hip hop, I do R&B, techno, pop, different genres. So that's one thing about me. Very versatile.
Okay, tell us how the Young Chris placement came about.
Oh, the Young Chris, basically that happened because.
Well, tell everybody the name of the song. And
the song that I produced for former Rock Nation artist Young Chris is called Bounce 101. And basically how that came about, I was networking with a group of producers online, and basically they told me about a contest that he was doing called 30 Days, 30 Verses, and basically he was looking for up-and-coming producers to submit tracks that he can lay down for 30 days, so he can lay down 30 verses for 30 days. And I submitted like 3 tracks, and keep in mind this was like when I just started producing, and he hit me back on via email, and he was like, yo, I'm feeling like 3 of your tracks, send the full versions. And I was really surprised, and I did that. But the tracks that he picked, till this day I still think those are like my worst tracks I ever made, and I'm like, wow, he used those. Like, that's crazy. And it was the crazy. It came out crazy too. So that definitely motivated me to keep going. I was like, I know I have something special, but I know it's not going to take just one day to make that happen. It's going to take time. So, you know, I'm just going to keep grinding until, you know, it happens. The next placement happens.
If you were to do a whole album with one MC, who would you choose?
If I could do an album with one MC,
yeah,
it would probably be Rakim, really, because like
wow.
even like when I started rapping, he was a major influence because like the way I used to rap, it was with multi-syllables, the same way that he used to do it, but it was in a different way, of course. But I mean, he was always a major influence. Like I said, Eric B is one of my favorite producers, and he has a major influence on my sound. And I mean, just if it wasn't Rakim, I would probably say J. Cole, Big Daddy Kane, maybe Cool G Rap. But like I said, probably most likely Rakim.
Like you a young dude. Like
Yeah,
what are you? 16?
18,
Are you talking about
yeah.
Rakim?
Yeah, man.
Most people your age, you know, wanna you know, be,
I mean,
you know, Waka and Soldier Boy, and
right, that's
it ain't nothing wrong with that, but it's surprising
right.
to see an 18-year-old, you know,
Right.
want to produce for Rakim.
Right, and I mean, it's just crazy because like most of the people that I grew up with, they don't really know who Rakim is, who Cool G Rap is, who Primo is, Jay Dilla. But I mean, it's all about doing your homework and knowing your history. I mean, that's just, you got to be conscious of that. You know, if you say that you're the best at something, you need to know the history behind it and what came before it. You can't just be cocky and make that type of statement if you want to make that. So, I mean, just know your history. That's not even with music. That's just in general. That's a general statement. You know, just know the history and what came before you and respect it. The equipment that I'm using today is a Sony Vaio laptop, the chord pad control, which I do most of my drums. Like I said, I'm a percussionist, so if I can't play the drums by fingers, I use my drumsticks. I'm also using the M Audio Keystation Pro 88 that you see right here. And most of the time, if I don't feel like doing the mixing and mastering on the laptop, I'll use the controls via here. You see all the sliders and the knobs. And basically, I also had these two monitors right here just so I can, just more space. And that's about it, really. Everything else is, like I said, VSTs and samples. That's about it. And that's how the first track started. And then add the kick into it. This right here is the instrumental CD that I did myself during the summer of 2010. It's called The Grand Cinema. And basically the concept behind this was me remixing different movie themes and putting it to a hip-hop and R&B format. And this all took place, it probably took 2 months to get everything done as far as production, getting all the sponsors on the same page, getting the funding for the project. And just getting it distributed and everything. So this all took 2 months. And keep in mind, I was working. I had to work to get all the money. And plus, I was getting ready for college too. So I mean, I don't have the CD in here. But,
so that CD is actually in stores?
No, I don't. Not anymore. But
okay.
I still have copies. So yeah, you can get it online though.